The movie begins with a scene of intense, terrifying chaos. Inside a bathroom, a tenant is casually soaking in a bathtub while her landlord bangs furiously on the door outside, screaming in anger. Slowly and deliberately, the young woman gets out of the tub, gets dressed, and pulls a sharp knife from a drawer. Instantly shifting her demeanor, she begins to act like a terrified victim, wildly waving the knife at the landlord as he forces his way in. A violent struggle ensues, and the landlord's hand is severely slashed by the blade. Covered in blood, the young woman flees the house, running desperately down the street and pleading for help. A passing driver, seeing her bloody clothes and the angry man chasing her, quickly pulls over and tells her to get in. As they speed away to safety, the driver asks, "Can I help you?" The young woman, finally dropping her terrified act, simply asks him to stop the car. We soon learn her name is Laura Lewis. She works in a medical laboratory. The story then shifts to a woman named Patty, who is busy renovating a room in her house to rent out. Her college-aged daughter suggests she hire a professional for the repairs. But Patty, fiercely valuing her independence, refuses. Patty lives mostly alone. Her daughter is away at school, and her son rarely visits. She runs a local clothing boutique with her good friend Annette, and is simply looking for a quiet tenant to help with the bills. Meanwhile, Laura spends her days working at the medical lab, showing a strange affection for the test animals. She is currently homeless, secretly sleeping in the lab at night. Her boss Alan harbors a massive crush on her and eagerly offers to let her stay at his place, but Laura flatly refuses. Instead, she answers an ad for Patty's rental room. When Laura arrives to view the house, Patty is thrilled to have her first prospective tenant. They quickly agree to sign a lease. During the process, Patty casually mentions that she keeps the central heating turned off to save on high utility costs, and Laura politely nods in agreement. Impressed by Laura's gentle manners, Patty even discloses that the house has a security system. To be safe, Patty calls Laura's reference her boss, Alan. Blinded by his crush, Alan gives Laura a glowing, 100% perfect recommendation, cementing Patty's complete trust. On her very first day, Laura cooks a lavish meal for Patty. Touched by the gesture, Patty treats Laura like family, even opening up and showing her the divorce papers from her ex-husband, Ray. Secretly, Laura is thrilled by this vulnerability. As they drink wine and bond over Patty's past, Laura helps clean up. She intentionally drops and breaks a glass, apologizing profusely, which ironically only deepens Patty's sympathy and absolute trust in her new tenant. The next morning, Laura secretly spies on Patty as she hugs a man outside. When Patty comes back in, Laura pretends to be reading the newspaper and innocently asks if Patty has a new boyfriend. Patty happily admits she is dating her gardener, Steve. Later, Patty forgets her keys and asks Laura to let her in. This gives Laura the perfect excuse to wander into Patty's unlocked bedroom, like a predator claiming territory. She lies on Patty's bed and obsessively touches her personal belongings before heading to work. At the lab, Laura's violent past catches up to her when her previous landlord suddenly appears, looking for her. Panicking, Laura begs Alan to help her hide. Alan blindly covers for her, lying to the landlord that Laura has moved to Chicago, prompting the man to leave. That evening, the first cracks in Laura's sweet facade begin to show. While arranging flowers, Patty gently scolds Laura for leaving a window wide open and forgetting to set the security alarm. Instantly, Laura's demeanor snaps. Furious, she storms off and violently slams her bedroom door. A short while later, she reemerges with a pitiful, tear-streaked face, emotionally manipulating Patty by claiming she suffers from severe trauma caused by her previous, abusive landlord. The bizarre behavior escalates when Patty comes home to find Steve waiting with a glass of wine. Laura suddenly appears, latching onto Steve's arm and pouring him more wine. Feeling awkward, Patty mentions the wine was a gift from her daughter. Laura laughs off the tension, pretending she thought they were talking about Steve. But the encounter leaves Steve deeply uncomfortable, and he quickly leaves. Soon, Patty receives an outrageously high utility bill. She knocks on Laura's door, to discuss a rent increase to cover the central heating costs. Lara, completely dropping her friendly act, coldly refuses to pay a dime more, citing that the lease guarantees her full access to all utilities. Stumped, Patty consults her legally savvy friend, Dennis. Dennis confirms that the lease legally protects Lara, advising Patty to either learn to live with it or lock Lara out of the main house. Taking matters into her own hands, Patty sneaks into Lara's room while she is at the lab working with test rats. Inside, Patty is disturbed to find bizarre, ancient-looking wild artifacts and a hidden audio recorder, which she immediately confiscates. The tension hits a boiling point. That night, Patty waits on the stairs, telling Lara she wants her to move out and will even help her find a bigger place. Lara brushes her off, saying they will talk tomorrow. But the next morning, as revenge, Lara takes a pair of scissors, sadistically snips the buds off Patty's beautiful flowers, and hides the scissors in a drawer. Driving home from work, Patty calls a friend to vent about her manipulative victim playing tenant. Back at the house, Lara takes advantage of the open door to deeply snoop through Patty's private personal files. When Patty suddenly returns, Lara scrambles to hide. Patty catches her sneaking out of the room and furiously confronts her. Lara immediately plays the victim, loudly accusing Patty of harassment and threatening to sue her, viciously pointing out that Patty can't even afford a lawyer, seeking comfort. Patty meets with Steve, but upon seeing the ruined flowers, she knows it's Lara. But Steve is taking Lara's side. Feeling utterly alone, Patty changes the lock on her bedroom door. Meanwhile, Lara is orchestrating a master plan. She brings fake lease agreement to lawyer, playing the role of a desperate, impoverished student. She visits a lawyer who, mesmerized by her beauty, agrees to help her for free. After that, she changed the name on the lease with Patty's name. The next day at the bank, a teller hands Patty a $1,750 check that Patty supposedly wrote to Lara. Patty is shocked, denying she ever wrote it. When she confronts Lara at home, Lara boldly lies to her face, claiming she watched Patty write it. Lara then hands Patty a legal letter addressed to her ex-husband, Ray, believing Ray is behind this nightmare. Patty screams at Lara to get out. That night, the police suddenly arrive at the house. Patty refuses to open the door, watching from the window as Lara stands outside, lying to the officers that her landlord is trying to murder her. The next morning, Patty rushes to confront Ray, but he reveals that the lease Lara provided has a completely different name on it. He warns Patty that, legally, she is in deep trouble. Overwhelmed, Patty takes her friend's advice and goes on a short trip to clear her head. The moment she leaves, Lara hires a locksmith to break into Patty's bedroom. Lara casually tries on Patty's clothes and lets her pet rat roam free. But the next morning, Lara finds the rat is missing and she thought her rat is killed by Patty's cat. In a rage, Lara flushes the rat's belongings down the toilet, intentionally causing it to overflow, and then calls the health department to report the flooding she created. When Patty returns, she is horrified to find a health citation on her door. Her house trashed, and Lara brazenly showering in her bathroom. The next day, the nightmare deepens. Following a foul smell to the backyard pool, Patty finds her beloved cat floating dead in the water. She knows Lara did it. Holding her lifeless pet, she vows to fight back. Lara completely takes over the house, moving her belongings into the main rooms. Desperate for answers, Patty visits Alan at the lab, asking if her cat was killed by a bacterial injection. Alan, completely manipulated by Lara, defends his crush and dismisses Patty as crazy. Returning home, Patty finds a piece of mail belonging to Lara with a fake address sticker. Peeling it back, she discovers Lara's previous address. She visits the old house, but the landlord isn't there. So she leaves her contact info. The situation spirals out of control. Patty's daughter visits, sees the house completely taken over by Lara, and mistakenly blames her mother for the chaos. Shortly after, the previous landlord visits Patty's shop. He reveals the horrifying truth about Lara, showing Patty the severe antipsychotic medication Lara left behind, proving she is a dangerous, unmedicated psychopath. Patty rushes home to find police cars outside. Her daughter's boyfriend is being arrested. Lara stands on the lawn, falsely accusing the boyfriend and Patty of trying to kill her. The police stop a physical fight between the daughter and Lara. Lara then plays her ultimate trump card. She files a lawsuit and obtains a temporary restraining order (TTRO) against Patty. That night, the police serve Patty the order, making it illegal for her to be in her own downstairs living area, and actually arrest Patty for trespassing in her own home. In court, Lara spins a web of horrific lies, presenting forged documents and falsely claiming her old landlord tried to rape her. The judge rules that Lara cannot go upstairs after 7 a.m. Patty is banished from downstairs between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., but Lara isn't done. At the lab, she steals a lethal vial of live bacteria. However, Alan sees what she is doing, and he finally checks Lara's bag, finds the old address Patty uncovered, and calls Lara's father. Later that Alan calls Lara's father. The father confesses that his daughter is deeply mentally unstable and incredibly dangerous. Alan finally realizes Patty was telling the truth the entire time. Meanwhile, knowing Patty is trapped upstairs, Lara injects the deadly bacteria into the apples in Patty's room. Hearing a noise, Patty grabs a video camera and catches Lara trying to sabotage the heating system. Lara violently attacks her, but Patty manages to escape the room and lock Lara inside. Lara screams bloody murder through the door, threatening to kill Patty. Unbeknownst to Lara, Patty records the entire terrifying threat on tape. When the police arrive, Lara tries to play the sweet victim again, but Patty confidently hits play on the recorder. Hearing the undeniable death threats, the police immediately arrest Lara and drag her to jail. Patty finally breathes a sigh of relief, but the nightmare has one final chapter. From her jail cell, Lara calls Alan, using her tears and manipulative charm. She convinces the guilt-ridden Alan to bail her out. As soon as she is free, she violently attacks Alan, steals his car, and drives straight back to Patty's house. Patty is relaxing in the bathtub, about to eat one of the apples, when the music downstairs suddenly stops. She cautiously goes to investigate. As she turns a corner, Lara leaps from the shadows. A brutal, desperate fight breaks out. The two women grapple fiercely, tumbling violently down the main staircase. At the bottom of the stairs, Lara pins Patty down. Forcing Patty's mouth open, Lara attempts to pour the remaining lethal bacteria down her throat. Mustering all her strength, Patty strikes Lara hard in the face. The sudden blow causes the vial to jerk back, and the deadly bacteria injects directly into Lara's body. Within moments, the poison takes effect, and Lara slowly dies on the floor of the home she tried to steal. The movie ends with Patty, finally safe and alone, sitting on her bed. She picks up the apples Lara had tampered with earlier. Slicing them open, she sees the dark, rotting decay hidden entirely on the inside, a chilling final metaphor for the beautiful but deadly total stranger who almost destroyed her life.